Hey guys, we've received quite a few messages the last couple of days from people who've seen stories about the mudslide in Japan and asking what's going on with that. So, speaking to you from the middle of a new project that the unskilled labourer has started. So it's a bit of carnage at the moment, but just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on with the mudslide and talk about it a little bit, show you some images. Got some images coming in a moment. So, in Atami, which is to the west of Tokyo, it's a town up in the mountains near or up on a mountain near the ocean, and they had a mudslide there a couple of days ago, and it started above the town and then just slid down through the town and continued down towards the ocean. And at this stage there are 113 people unaccounted for, and there's 3 people being confirmed dead. So they're having a little bit of trouble with the numbers. Apparently that place, there are a lot of people that have like holiday places there that stay there part-time, and as a result of that they're not quite sure how many people were in each house that got washed away, whether the houses were empty or whether there were people in there. So in some cases, so there's a bit of confusion about the total numbers, but at the moment 113 missing and 3 confirmed dead. So apparently that area, as well as being hilly, is also a lot of volcanic ash there, which always makes it unstable. So sadly we see this every year because Japan's like 80% mountains, and because we get the heavy rain season, and those of you who've watched our videos the last week or so, the in the car videos that were made in torrential rain, and that's because we have rain pretty much every day for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to have rain pretty much every day for the next week or so at least. And that's exactly what we get every year during rainy season, and sometimes unexpectedly as well. But it's just that torrential rain and that constant rain, and the ground gets absolutely inundated or absolutely soaked day after day after day, and then eventually it gives way, and we see it every year. So during those, it's the same as with the typhoon season. You're pretty safe from typhoon damage here. It's usually not dangerous. Unfortunately, the danger is the people in the mountains have that danger from the mudslides and from flooding, the rivers flooding. So it's just that combination of 80% of the terrain is mountainous, and that torrential rain, that constant rain that just soaks everything and eventually it just gives away. So every year we see it. Every year. It often happens down in Kyushu. It happens all around Japan, but we see it every year, sadly enough. So they are quite good. The emergency services are used to dealing with this, so they are quite good at dealing with it. But you know, once you get a big slide like that, it was a huge, you know, millions of cubic meters of mud. There was some footage we saw on television of it coming down the hill. It doesn't move super fast. It's like 30 kilometers an hour or something. It's not super fast, but it's just heavy. It's wet and flowing. Those of you who haven't seen a mudslide before, it's sort of it's liquid. It's liquid, but it's heavy, and it just moves through and just takes everything with it because it's so heavy. So it was described by we saw someone sent us a link, and it was an overseas news organisation that called it a mud tsunami. It's not really a big wave. It's just this movement of land. You know, the land's moving and it just comes through and just takes everything. And quite often it'll take a whole town. We see, you know, some years they'll say, oh, here's this town and this is all that's left of it, and this is what it looked like before and this is what it looked like now, and you'll have a town with houses and buildings and shops, and they'll show it and everything's gone. It just flattens everything and just covers it with mud, and it all just disappears. So if you're outside or if you're in a car or something, you have some chance, but if you're inside a house and the house gets squashed and covered with mud, there's not much chance for you. So they do look for survivors, of course, but the chances of finding people, you know, those 113 missing, sadly we're going to see those numbers change every day over the next few weeks as they move all that mud. they bring the army in for this sort of thing, for the self-defense force. They take them in for this sort of thing, and the emergency services, and they'll be moving mud for weeks probably, and we'll see that number slowly get sadder and sadder, unfortunately. But it just happens every year. You know, Japan has so much powerful nature going on here with earthquakes and volcanoes and everything else that we've got here. And the mudslides and the flooding are probably the most lethal. We see more deaths from that every year than we do from everything else, you know, as far as nature's concerned. So anyway, that was that. Sad goings on there. So, well, if there's anything massively changes about it, but you guys will probably hear about it, you know, in your own countries from your own news organisations. You'll probably hear updates on that. But if there's anything dramatic happens about that, we'll give you an update on it. So a bit of chaos in here, isn't there? Whoops. Okay. This will all make sense later. We're working on it. We posted a photo on Patreon and said that we've got the project starting soon. So some people have been asking about the video already. Project's not finished yet, is it? Clearly. Anyway, that's enough of that. More videos coming soon.